Hey guys, Brian here. Welcome back to the shop. This is actually the second time I've shot this footage because my battery went dead while I was filming this job earlier and lost all the footage for that, or it didn't save it or whatever. Anyway, not in the GoPro, can't download it, so I'm shooting this over again. So what we've got here today a little project on deck plates. So you might be able to tell by looking at this that we're looking at the top of a 6-cylinder engine block. These are going to be the bolt holes that hold the cylinder head on, and they'll actually hold this plate on too. These are coolant jacket holes here, and we still have yet to put in the holes for our push rods here, so I'm going to be machining those out next, and then we're going to come in here and cut these big holes out for the cylinders, and then they will have to be counterbored to a certain depth, which I'll have to look that up, for the liners to stick in to finish this out. And that's going to be it on this plate. So I had a bunch of footage on putting all these other holes in here and doing the scribe work and everything, laying this out, and that got lost, like I said, when the battery went dead. So I'm going to be sure that I save a couple times in the process of doing this, so that if the battery kicks out on me again, won't have that problem. I put a LCD display on the back of my GoPro so that I could see what I was looking at better, so that you all would have a better idea. I wouldn't be cutting off stuff out of the screen as much, and I guess it pulls a lot of power, seems like, because I've had problems with this thing going dead pretty quick. Here they are, my battery's going shot. But so I guess let's get a drill in here and get these holes started and get them drilled, and then we'll I'm gonna try and take a hole saw and cut the bulk of this out and then finish bore it. I don't know if that hole saw will live through that or not, but the guy who this is for gave me the hole saw to try, so if it doesn't survive, well, it's no skin off my back. I'm sure the mill will survive it. I don't know. I'm going to say it can probably make life not so happy on this Linux, but I'm going to try and take it slow, and maybe it'll get on through there without any carnage, and we'll see how it works for a low buck annulus cutter. started, let's change out to end mill and finish them up. Okay, so here it is so far. So all the ones we've got left to do is to cut these big holes out and put the counter bores in them, and I have to give me some screw jacks to put underneath there to do that so I can hold this thing up better. This worked good for putting the holes in. I didn't have to worry about hitting anything underneath, but that won't be rigid enough for Big grid's enough for cutting the holes out, but when I actually do the counters, I'll have to support this better so it'll stay flat and true. So I guess let's get the hole saw on here, and we'll try and cut these out and see what happens. Okay, so I've been struggling with these holes here a little bit on this hole saw, just to shear the pins off after it cuts for a little bit. And what I have determined is that I actually did better cutting with no lube. Once I started putting lube on it, I think the chips kind of balled up in the cutter teeth. There's not no place to go, and then they just lock it up and snap. So I'm gonna fix this again, put some grade A bolts through there, get that back on the arbor, and I'm gonna come in here and drill 2 holes for the chips to be able to get out, and we'll see how that works. left to do is to finish pour these and put the counters in them. So we'll get this setup switched out, get some of this mess cleaned up. Flood coolant was definitely the trick. Let that get right on through there. Did a nice job. Actually, pretty good clean hole there. Did it cut? Looks like flood coolant on there. So I'm satisfied with that. So let's move on to the next step.